turns you'll make it home, y'all left wasted. No one can make it go away.
All right, welcome everybody to another edition of Ms. Bomey's Zone. How you feeling?
Good, how are you?
Good. She's like, I'm good. How are you?
You kind of caught me off guard. I was looking to see if there was anybody in the chat room yet.
Yeah, he's made me feel old. No.
Yeah, we're all going to feel a little older after this conversation.
Oh heck yeah! I mean, there's so much though. I mean,
Ugh.
wow. When you go back
Yeah.
through it and you think about it, what was really happening in the
Mhm.
80s. I mean, you got things
Yeah.
like the digital watch.
Yep.
Right, but now think about this though. Those little $5 digital watches that they have, right?
Mhm.
Those were like hundreds of dollars in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yep.
And now they're like, there's more computing power in one of those than there was in the entire freaking, Apollo program. It blows you
Well,
away.
when you think about it, they really did pave the way for quite a few gadgets and that were electronic and otherwise.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The chat room should be the mail should be out. Everybody should be getting their notifications now, so they should be popping in the chat room here shortly.
Or we might not have a lot of people. It is Labor Day weekend after all, so I'm sure everybody's camping in the bush.
Oh my God, you in that bush. Now see, that meant something totally different in the 80s.
Yes, it did.
Yes, indeed. Something totally different.
I'm just saying. So yeah.
But yeah,
That's our.
I had a lot of fun doing that promo. There was some cool stuff there.
There was some stuff that I went, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So that was really cool. And you are a madman. You put so much time and energy into these promos. Which, by the way,
you gotta have them look good. And of course, I have this issue. I get started, and then it's like magic for the first 35 seconds. Then I'm like, I'm not so thrilled about the last whatever. But I have to tear down that last portion. Start redoing it again. I'm like, it's gotta be as good as the beginning. And then you start getting into the micro moments, trying to get music to line up. It's like, oh.
Right?
Of course, just trying to get a simple thing, the simplest thing. All right. Now imagine this. I had somebody who had. Well, I got cassettes in the basement. Do you have cassettes, really? Yeah, in the basement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a big pin? A big pin? I'm sure I probably do. That's a magical thing from the 80s. I'm trying to explain this. I just want you to go somewhere, get a clean shot, and pin a cassette tape. They're like, what? Pin a cassette tape? What do you mean? Just stick the pin in it and turn it. Turn the right side clockwise.
Yep.
Stick it in the other side and turn it counterclockwise. That's all. What do you mean? Oh my freaking God! Trying to explain this to somebody who they know what a cassette tape is because they see them in the basement in the box, but they don't even know what to do with it. It took
probably
literally
their mom and dad's.
no joke. Took them almost say it won't come out of the case. What do you mean it won't come out of the case? Won't come out of the case. I'm like, what are you talking about? It won't open. What do you mean it won't open? You can crush one of them with your fingers. What do you mean it won't open?
Open.
It won't open. I'm pulling it. Well, it's not a freaking CD. You pressed the. I said, hold it so it's facing upwards, all right? So that the bottom that goes in. Which side's the bottom? Oh, motherfucker. Oh my.
By the time John was done, he's like, can I have a PBR?
I'm like, there's one part that's just plastic. It has some little nips at the top of it. Okay, those are non-recording nips. I said, but I won't even get into that. Then there's one that has tape in the bottom. Put the tape facing up. All right. Now squeeze the bottom. Oh, it opened right. Oh, it opened very enough. Yeah, there you go. Holy crap, man! It's a cassette. Oh my God! Really? You've never seen one before? Oh, that took forever to get that shot. That's it. I was ready to pull all my hair out by the time I was done. There, your chat room's filling up now.
Cut out there for a second.
Whoops. We got Gunweld one in there. We got Douglas is in here.
Mm-hmm.
Your other half is in there. I'm in there.
Yeah.
We'll have more coming in here shortly. So
what the heck?
What? What's wrong?
You sound funny.
I sound funny? Is that
Yeah.
better? Want me to turn myself up? Is that better?
There you go.
Okay. Oh my God, 1911 says Fraggle Rock. Oh, heavens.
So there's a lot to talk about, and I don't think that we're going to we can't throw this all down in an hour.
No, I mean, I'll do some points that I threw in the promo that a lot of people don't know. Like I put MASH at the very end, and I already had 2 emails already. MASH is the 70s. Yeah, I understand that, but MASH ended in the 80s, and it's probably one of the only shows that I've seen that the ending was that big a deal. I mean, they made
I forgot about that.
It was such a huge thing. That's it. It's it. It's over. MASH is ending. It was like a big to do, and it ended in the 80s. 255 episodes they had.
They had a lot of episodes, and it did end up in the 80s.
And that was also back when we did seasons normally. Now you can have 2 seasons a year. You're like, how the hell you do that? I mean, TV has 2 seasons in a year, and back then we had a season. Yeah, that was it. It was over till next year.
Done. Yeah, you had to wait till next year.
That's right. So 255 episodes can be done now in a few years. Yeah. Back then, oh no, it took time.
Oh yeah, it took a lot of time. Things took a lot of time, that's for sure. Oh man, I just don't even know where to begin, honestly.
Biggest memory.
Okay. The biggest memory for the 80s for me was being able to drink at the age of 18.
Well, okay, yeah. For some of those people out there that will listen to this later on that are younger. And when we say back in the day, we're actually talking about more than 2 decades ago. So we get to say back in the day, because back in the day is not when you were 9 and you're 13 now. No.
No, honeys. No, honeys.
It needs to be a few decades in the past. Yes. But we had 3.2 beer, 3.2% alcohol. Yeah. That could be partaken of by 18-year-olds.
Back in the day, Minnesota's legal drinking age was 19, but over in Wisconsin, it was 18. So we would always go over the river to Wisconsin and drink there because we were legal there.
So you actually would say things like, "Going over the river, get hammered." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ooh.
And it was so funny because it was always the 3 of us. There was 2 other girls that I went to high school with, and we were like the 3 musketeers. We did lots of things together. And the one girl, she got the driver's license before any of us did. So she would ask her mom and dad if she could borrow the car to, so that we could all drive over there. And we had to drive in a Volkswagen Rabbit, bright freaking yellow. You could see us coming for miles.
Here they come in the little
Here
leaper.
They come.
It's the little leaper.
Maybe that's where my fascination for smart cars came from. I don't know.
Whoosh, some of those smart cars make you look pretty.
Yeah, that is for sure. That was. Yeah, that was it. What about you?
Mine was probably. I mean, the thing that stands out. There's lots of things that happened in the 80s. All right, I went into the service, all kinds of stuff like that. But I mean, like the moment that just stands out in my brain from the 80s was watching the build-up. You're just watching this build-up of Kristen McCullough, and you're watching it, and you're watching it, and you're watching it, and you're watching it. She's from New England, here where I'm at. She's in Massachusetts, right next door. And you're watching it, you're like, wow, this is the most amazing thing. The first teacher in space. Oh my God, this is going to be crazy. And the kids are all involved. Everybody's involved. And then all of a sudden, everywhere here in New England, it was playing live. I was standing in the mall. All right, I'm here back on leave. I'm standing in the mall, and I'm watching it in the middle of the mall on these giant TVs. I had never seen TVs this big. They were, they stack them together. You know what I mean? Like they put like 30 TVs, so there's like lines between all, but they stacked them up. There's this wall of these TVs. It looks like amplifiers at a concert. You're standing there, and I'm like 30 feet away, so there's the biggest thing just going, and you can hear that rumble, that, and it was going on there, and all of a sudden, bam,
taken off,
it exploded.
Yeah.
And I remember I literally just dropped to my knees, and I was just sitting there staring. I didn't say one freaking word. I'm going, what?
Yeah.
And it's like,
it was shocking.
Everybody was glued to this thing, and you're like, here it goes. This is going to be such a crazy. Imagine her mind. I'm thinking in my brain, imagine her mind. She's worked so hard. She's got to be geeking. I'm going to space, and she's going to be teaching her kids in her classroom from space. So you're kind of, I'm a geek and a half, so I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Wow, this is an amazing thing. It's about that, and then that. It was so difficult to screw that moment down. I couldn't put it together in my head. Nothing was working at that moment.
No, it was shocking. It really was, because nobody expected it.
But it was, and I remember becoming pissed, really pissed off when the guy and the way he announced it. I was so angry. I don't know why I was so angry, but I just became enraged. You just hear the announcer going, okay, it appears the shuttle has exploded.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yep.
All those people wait, hold on. Did you just say that? It appears the shuttle has exploded. Holy crap, dude.
That's what I mean. It was just...
I think that was my most... No, it's not memorable for a good reason, but I think that's my most memorable moment of a huge thing that happened for me in the 80s was that. So much happened, but I think that's my most memorable moment.
Yeah, there's a lot. So let's talk about movies for a moment, because I think that 80s was very iconic for quite a few different themed movies.
Oh, yeah.
That happened. There was a lot that happened in the 80s. So give me a couple of your favorite movies.
Well, everyone's going to taunt me and say, oh my God, what a freaking geek. But I'm a geek, okay? I'm a science guy. So
we know this.
So without a freaking doubt, Back to the Future was like, it was just one of those you could sit down, chill out. It was a feel-good movie, but it also made you laugh about, the giggle. All that stuff made you laugh, but how they used, the DeLorean and all the different, and as they fed along and things continued to get, more knowledgeable for them, they always changed it. I always thought they did such a great job. Bullshitting me as the consumer on that. I thought they did a great job on it. I enjoyed the series.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, that's probably one of the ones I think I enjoyed a lot. There's a lot of movies though. There was an awful lot.
A lot of movies came out. I'll probably get shit for this one, but one of my all-time favorites is Top Gun.
Well, how are you gonna get shit for that? No one can give you shit for that. That's freaking Top Gun was a great flick.
I can watch that movie over and over again and not get bored. It's not one of them like Eric would say, I'd get up and start vacuuming.
Yeah. Well, how many guys are always goosing in Maverick? Come on. He gets it with his teacher. You're rooting for the kid. Halfway through the movie, you're like, wow, you're going to bag your teacher. That's crazy. All right. I'm with you, man. I'm voting for you, man. I'm rooting for you.
See, but honestly, I think that movie had a little bit of everything for everybody. Okay, because the guys are like hot teacher, You're rooting for the guy to, get with the teacher. The girls had the eye candy at the beach when they were playing volleyball. So there was something there for everybody.
I didn't see that part.
Would you like me to tell you all about it?
No freaking idea what you're talking about. No idea.
Yeah, okay.
But then, but then there were badass jets. Then
Yes.
there were people shooting things down.
Yes.
Then there were MiGs.
See, but that's what I mean. There was you
It
had
was
the
just-
action.
Yeah.
You had the guys. You had the
Wait a
girls.
minute. Jolson just said the garbage pail movie kids. I can't eject anybody out of the chat room, can I? What the hell?
No.
The Garbage Pail Kids movie? Oh my god. I never even thought about that, but I remember there was a card. Wasn't there a card? Yeah,
There's cards.
there was a gum. It was a gum thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the bubble gum cards.
They had a movie of that
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
No, I did not know they had a movie of that shit.
I didn't. Oh my gosh.
I think
really.
Jolson's just screwing with us.
Ed said long duck dong
Oh my god. That was in that movie with the girl.
and 16 candles.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
She
Sorry, I didn't
there was
complete that.
there was a Japanese guy that we called him Long Duck Dong.
Oh. Oh my gosh. So I put a list together of the movies, the popular ones that they did from the whole 80s here. So I'm going to go down the list because I think some of the people in the chat room probably already brought some of these up. So 1980, The Shining.
Yep.
Wendy. Boom. Don't forget that line. 81, Raiders of the Lost Ark. 82.
You gotta love that. You have to love it.
Oh,
How can you not love that?
I know. That was
Oh,
like
so you
my
were
favorite
you were
too.
into her too, huh?
Raiders of the Lost Ark? No. I liked Harrison Ford. Come on.
He wasn't quite as good as his compadre.
Well, okay, if you say so. 82, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Sorry, I wasn't a big fan of that one.
I thought it was funny when he ordered the pizza in the classroom. I'll give you that.
That stuff's funny. It's just like I wasn't a giant Breakfast Club fan. I mean, it wasn't amazing to me.
Stop.
It wasn't.
83, Scarface and Flashdance.
No. So you were doing good when you said Scarface. You fell down when you said Flashdance.
Oh my God! I thought you were so going to be like, yeah. Remember that scene when she was on stage and all that water came pouring on her? Every single guy talked about that back in the day.
No, they were talking about Carrie. They were talking about that movie Carrie and the blood being dumped on her. That's what they were talking about. They were talking about Flashdance. Are you crazy?
I'm just telling you what
Flashdance.
the popular things were. 84. Let's move on to 84.
Thank you.
So, the Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to throw another one in there, and you're going to go, oh, jeez. Footloose.
Jesus Christ.
See? I knew it.
Hell? No. Do you know what you've just now proven was? The 80s was the beginning of the chick flick. There you go. There's a Flashdance. There you go. Footloose. Chick flick.
No, don't say anything because you've already been banging on about this one already. 85, The Breakfast Club. Okay, zip. Don't say nothing. We'll go on. 86, Top Gun. Much better.
All right, yeah.
Okay, 87, Dirty Dancing. Okay, I didn't care for that one. Okay, I really didn't care for that one. Lost Boys.
Wait, hold on. Lost Boys. Is that the vampire one?
Yeah.
Okay, that was
Kiefer
cool.
Sutherland.
Yeah, that was
Kiefer.
Yeah, that was. I remember the scene of them all on the bridge and jumping off a bridge into the fog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That was cool.
88, Die Hard.
I'm a diehard. I'm a diehard enjoyer. Yes,
Okay.
I enjoy Die Hard. Yes.
89, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
No one will ever beat Kathleen Turner, but okay.
So I don't have have to ask you how you feel about these because as we've been going along, you've been giving the opinion.
I just toss stuff out. I'm just, you know,
You're just throwing
just
it out
being
there.
part of the conversation. Free wins free.
So now that you know what the popular list is, what was like one of your favorite movies from the 80s?
Ooh, holy crap.
Maybe one that wasn't like so popular that I just listed off here.
Mine are going to be totally lame as hell.
Oh, let's see. And then, while you're thinking about that, I'm jumping over here in the chat room. 1911 USA said The Outsiders.
Yep.
A Gun Wild said Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got here. Well, somebody mentioned Dirty Dancing. Mm-hmm.
What?
Another person mentioned.
Somebody mentioned Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe no one said
Empire Strikes Back.
Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
Probably the most popular movie I think that there was E.T. You had E.T.
E.T.
Yep. Gremlins was kind of cool. It was different. It was different. Look at you. She's like, there were no girls dancing. I don't like it. There were no girls dancing. No one had any hope of catching a fella by dancing. I don't like it.
I didn't say that. Vacation.
The National Lampoons. Yeah, but the one that I'm shocked that nobody mentioned was Karate Kid.
Or Stand By Me. Did that come out?
Right. I don't know. Stand By Me came out in the 80s. Yep.
Yeah.
But Karate Kid, come on.
Yeah. Wax on, wax off.
That's right. Big to do.
It was.
You had Untouchables. You had Raging Bull, and probably the biggest one I think of all there was Platoon.
I got nothing.
You didn't like Platoon?
Nothing.
Wait a minute. Oh, back that train, Helen. You didn't like Platoon?
Nope.
Oh my God! How are we going to stay on iHeartRadio now? She didn't like. Wow! There were two that came out in the 80s: Platoon and Full Metal Jacket. I mean, these are like iconic. Oh my heavens!
I'm not saying that they weren't well done movies. I mean,
That's 1-800 she done. 1-800 she damn crazy.
Well, the same could be said for some of them that I pointed out on the list of the top, ones from the 80s that you're like, oh my God.
Well, I mean, there was so much more. There was Beverly Hills Cop. There was A Nightmare on Elm Street. You had Platoon. Yeah. You had Full Metal Jacket. You had so many other ones. Beetlejuice came out in the 80s, for God's sake.
Beetlejuice.
That was fun. It was a fun one. I mean, it's not like you don't like write home and tell your friends, you got to see this movie. No. But it was a cool little,
It was
I got nothing else to do. I can watch that. That's okay. It's all right. It's one of those type flicks.
There was a lot of them that were feel-good movies, I think, in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. You mean, but all those crazy ones like Rambo and all, you left that out. Poltergeist. I mean, come on. There were some great flicks.
But that's the one thing that I gotta say.
Footloose. Footloose.
I'm just going off by what I found.
Dirty Dancing.
I did.
Had they really been Dirty Dancing, it might have been good. But they weren't. There was no Dirty Dancing in there.
Sean. For shame. But that was the thing about the 80s with the movies. There were so many different categories that the movies touched on. I mean, you had your Poltergeist. That was your paranormal activity, if you will. You had movies that told stories. You had movies that felt good. You had movies that were comedy. You had movies that were action. I mean, they had a whole thing going on from A to Z, I think, in the 80s. Because there wasn't really much of a movie that you couldn't say that didn't fall into one of those categories that wasn't popular or people didn't know of.
And
I
probably
think.
one, and a movie that we all, even though they may say they don't watch it, they do, was a Christmas
You
Story.
included?
A Christmas, yeah, no, I watch it. A Christmas Story. I watch it
Uh-huh.
every year. I watch it every year at least once because it reminds me of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great flick. And when the lady went, who was it, whose wife went crazy and wouldn't let him put It's a Wonderful Life on anymore. It used to be on all night for like 3 days in a row straight, and they don't put it on anymore now. But Christmas Story took its place
Yeah.
immediately, kaboom, and that was
I
great
know.
because
They
Christmas Story
played
was
that
awesome.
a lot.
Yeah, I mean
Played that
it's
a
probably one
lot.
of the most famous, I'd say, because just for how much they play it. But you got Risky Business too,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and that stupid one, that dumbass one. What is that one? The two heads there. What the hell is that one called?
The two heads.
The potheads.
You want to get
The potheads in the phone booth.
Cheech and Chong?
No, the phone booth.
Oh, the phone booth. Potheads.
Yeah. Two
What did they
potheads
do in the phone booth?
I guess they travel around the world or whatever. It's kind of like it's like a pothead spoof.
Oh.
It's like a pothead spoof on Doctor Who. I'm trying to
Is
think.
is that the one with Keanu Reeves in it?
I forget who the hell it is. There it is, Bill and Ted.
Bill and
Yes,
Ted.
Bill and
Thank
Ted's
you, Ben
Excellent
Wild.
Adventure. That's it. Two potheads in a phone booth. That's what it was right there. That's it. Two potheads in a phone booth. Well, I always took it as the phone booth was a play on Doctor Who, the TARDIS. You know, like that thing
Yeah.
you see in TARDISiuses.
Yes.
That's kind of the way I took it.
Yeah.
But of course, I wasn't stoned in the 80s because I was in the military, so I could have been wrong. I don't know.
Ed brought up Spaceballs.
Was Spaceballs in the 80s?
I don't know.
Why am I thinking it was in the 90s?
I don't know.
I'll have to look that one up. Hold on here.
Gunwild said Purple Rain. That was in the 80s.
Actually, I dug that flick. I really did.
Well, thank you for loving my Minnesota boy.
No, I thought it was well done. And I thought he was a talented musician. And of course, you got all people that are into metal and all that. Go, oh, faggot. No, I can enjoy all types of music, and I thought Prince was a very, very talented fella, and I thought that was very well done. I liked it. I thought it was. Very well.
It had a very good storyline. Some other ones that have been put. Okay, Spaceballs came out in '87, according to 1911 USA.
Yep, that's why I just pulled it up. Yeah, I thought it was in '90. Wow, I thought it was in 1990. Okay, so that's a great one then from the '80s.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds was funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Spaceballs. Oh my gosh. It just brings back so many memories. All kinds of stupid stuff.
Oh yeah, there's just a lot. There's just it was like the 80s was like this whole new birth for the country.
It was.
So you look at it was you noticed I put that older phone in the promo. There's a very specific reason I put that older phone in there. Because during the 80s is when the phone switched over where it used to be if your grandmother had a phone, all right, she had a rotary phone from like the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
In 1975, you could actually walk up to your grandmother's phone and dial it just normal. It worked fine.
Yeah.
Same phone worked fine. The original the original rotary tone was still there. Then in the 80s came the pulse tone, where some of those older phones would work and some would not work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you started developing this new phone where you had to turn on rotary. On a button, you would turn it on to rotary or pulse, which didn't make any sense because it's not a rotary phone. Why would I put it on rotary? They were having this trouble with the phones back and forth, and so that was basically the end of whatever phone you had. It always worked. That was
the push button came into play.
The Princess phone was the first one that kind of because it used to be your grandmother could go, you want a phone? I got a phone. Go downstairs in the basement. Before your grandfather passed away, he packed some phones in there. And those would all work. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. They'd work. You could look at this this old rusty, dirty ass thing going, this is going to work. And it did. It always worked, no matter what. Right? Then came that new thing. So that was basically the death of the old rotary phone. They didn't work right anymore after that.
It didn't.
So that was the end of when you were able to put anything you wanted on it.
Uh-huh.
And it was also the death, basically the ending of the 8-track, and the birth of the heavily birth of the cassette tape, but also the death of the cassette tape. It was born.
What you cut out there, John?
I said it was the death of the 8-track, the birth of the cassette, but also the death of the cassette, because the CD did come out. So you had the cassettes for like about a decade, and they died.
Well, as long as you brought that up, well, let's talk about music from the 80s.
Oh, my heavens. Yeehaw.
Okay.
There's a lot of music.
There's a lot that happened. Okay, I got a list again, and don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what people were saying were popular, and this is what they came up with. So, don't kill me.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper.
Well, that's on there. You're going to use that for my girls' promo, too, by the way. Starting with number 10. Can't even believe I'm going to say this. Hanging Tough, New Kids on the Block, 1989.
Okay.
Next.
I have a funny feeling what a feeling's coming up here pretty quick.
Number 9. Footloose. Kenny Rogers.
Oh, that's just bad. Well, what's the difference? What a feeling or Footloose? What, Kenny Loggins? What the hell? What's the difference?
Okay. Number 8. In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins, 81. Okay.
It was a song.
Okay, don't even now. Flashdance, What If You Lose? Number 7. 1983.
Okay. Wow.
Composure. There is none. Okay. I swear it's a chick that put this list together. I'm just saying.
I'm thinking it might be.
Number 6. Hungry Like the Wolf, Duran Duran, 1982.
No, that was okay.
That was okay. Number 5. I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me, Whitney Houston, 1987.
Okay. Not a great fan of that song, but I think Whitney Houston was an amazing artist because
she had a tremendous voice.
I don't care who you are. That woman sang the national anthem one time, and I was like, I stood up and I was clapping, and I was in my living room. I'm like, oh, Jesus! I was like, yes! I was like, yeah. So
she's got an awesome voice. She had an awesome voice, very much so. Number 4.
Say what?
Wake Me Up Before You Go.
You did not. Oh my God! You just whammed me. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh my God! That means you're gonna pull Culture Club out of your ass now.
Nope. Number 3. Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Oh, crap.
1983.
Oh, man.
Okay, number 2. Like a Virgin, Madonna, 1984.
Wow. I would have took Van Halen. Same year.
And then the number 1 that was on this list, which I think whoever compiled this was crazy, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, 1983.
Probably, that's one of the better songs you had on there.
Yeah.
But I
mean,
what do you think about that? You've got. I mean, you had a cool song. You had a cool song by Talking Heads, "Burning Down the House."
On the House.
Mellencamp there. I don't know what his name was at that time.
John John Mellencamp.
I don't know what
wasn't it?
Yeah, Jack and Diane.
Yeah,
That was
Jack
the
and
early
Diane.
80s. Yep.
Yeah.
Little Pink House.
Honorable mentions. Walk Like an Egyptian. Do you remember that one from the Bangles?
Oh, wow. Anybody who names himself after bracelets is kind of a little odd, but all right.
How about In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel, 86?
See, now that was a damn good tune. But let's not also forget You Shook Me All Night Long, AC/DC.
Oh, you can't forget about the boys from Down Under.
Nope. Men at Work. Nope.
Yeah, Men at Work.
Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls.
Yeah. West End Girls. Yeah.
You got and the song from your promo, Possum Sugar on Me.
Me, yeah.
And
Def Leppard.
hello, the song that how many young kids that got their first car were driving around, rolling the window down, playing as loud as they could on their cassette players, and made them all look stupid, but they couldn't believe it because it was just such a cool song. Was Eye of the Tiger, Survivor.
Oh. Yeah.
How many guys drove past you while cruising on the street with Eye of the Tiger on? God, did we all think we were cool or what? Crap, my Survivor cassette's not working. Quick, give me yours.
Gunwale says Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going for rock and stuff like that. You didn't mention any of that.
Well, I left it to the boys in the chat room.
Cheap Trick.
They're coming up with some pretty good stuff. Well, yeah, Cheap Trick.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Cheap Trick. I mean, good
good.
Lord, now I like music. Okay, so I mean, I'm not one of those people that will refuse to say like a song by like a Duran Duran or something like that, or In Excess. I won't refuse to say it was a cool song. Because if it's good, then it's good. I can listen to metal. I can listen to all that shit. I mean, there was actually a country band in the 80s that I think was one of the great country bands. I mean, it depends. You know, there's different stuff that's good. Some people won't listen to country just because.
Well, yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's to each their own. But I listen to all of it, but it's got to be good. And some of that crap, that 80s, I don't know, manufactured music to me, which is like the Bengals, the Go-Go's.
Well, yeah, that was like your popular music.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a formula. If you go run around, so there wasn't like a ton of talent. You didn't hear stuff from them that was that massive talent. All right.
No.
And even some of the metal bands, even some of the hair bands, were like that.
Queen.
No, Freddie Mercury was amazing. All right, Journey
Freddie
was amazing.
was.
Queen's
Journey
amazing.
was amazing.
I mean, you have so many really great bands, right? But there were some metal bands that were designed the same formula as the Bengals and all that. They were just there to grab and capitalize on it right now. They had a hit or two every once in a while.
Well,
you know?
that's
Then
it.
you had the ones that stayed.
Yeah, you had both. You had the bands that came through that stayed for the longevity, and then you also had your one-hit wonders.
Yep.
And there was a lot of one-hit wonders.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I didn't even put a lift together for that. I could have. Darn. Right. I forgot.
Autograph. Turn up the radio. A song that has been heard by everybody. A fucking amazing song, and was also the end.
Yeah.
I mean, but I suppose if you're going to go out on one album, I mean, if they did put out more albums, I don't know about it, and they obviously weren't any good. But I mean, here they had a song that I loved. I adored it. It's like the theme of spring to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, turn up the radio. Oh my God, I love that song. But there was nothing more that came from the band. It seems like it was like, you know.
Yeah. There was a lot that came.
Point Blank. Oh wow, I haven't heard that forever. Point Blank. Oh Nicole. That was a great freaking song.
Oh, and you cannot not mention Pink Floyd.
Oh, Pink Floyd's amazing.
Uh,
What do you mean? What the hell does that mean?
yeah.
She's like, She's like, they only sold 450 gazillion freaking goddamn
I
albums.
know.
Eh,
But here's the thing.
every
One of
pothead
my
in the
friends
world,
at that.
every pothead who's ever lived knows them. I mean, they actually sold out shows in planetariums and kept them busy with the lasers. You know, we're just going
Oh,
to turn the lasers on, charge them $85 and play Pink Floyd. Sell out.
I had a friend and her brother played nothing but Pink Floyd. So every single time I went over to her house, that's all you heard playing in her house. Oh, I was so tempted.
And by the way,
to
guys,
hide.
don't worry about the 20 minutes is there. We're going to stay longer because we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. We're just starting to skim the surface, I think. We're finished talking about the bands, the ones. Well, Pink Floyd, that was a band that had longevity.
Oh yeah, hell
They,
yeah,
they
dude.
were, they stuck
hell yeah.
around.
Absolutely.
Even even Bon
But there were
Jovi
some
did.
there were some bands that have longevity that had a
Yeah.
bad time during the 80s. And that was
Yes.
Aerosmith, one of my favorite bands, had some rough
Yes.
times during the 80s, but got their punch. Got their punch
Yeah.
stirred and a shot in the arm. Actually, believe it or not, because of rap. Rap.
Yes,
got-
they did. Rap was the Run
Rap
DMC.
got Aerosmith.
Mhm.
Yep. Rap
Yep.
got Aerosmith. The punch in the arm and the kick in the ass they needed to get this shit
Yeah.
put back together again, and boom! Now I mean, look what they've gone on to do since then. I mean,
Yeah.
good Lord, have mercy. They've done a lot. I mean, so there's some, and everyone's going to have their bands that they're hardcore about.
Mhm.
And now Gunwild up there said Weird Al. I used to listen to the show that Weird Al was on, and he was
Mhm.
actually a part of a show. It was called
Yeah.
Dr. Demento, also an 80s icon. Have you ever heard that one before? The radio
Yes.
show Dr. Demento? Demento, you Dementites? That's what had fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Speaking along that lines of other things and shows and stuff, you cannot not mention the birth of MTV in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that really kind of busted things wide open for music.
It was, in
And
the
for
beginning,
a lot of artists. I mean, that
in the
was their
beginning, I
main
loved it.
platform was doing those videos.
in the beginning, I freaking loved it. And then when they came out with
Yes.
MTV Unplugged, I was in heaven. I'm like, good crap. The greatest bands are going to come on here and go, well, we're going to
Yeah.
unplug everything and just hang out and do acoustic
Yeah.
sessions for you. We're just going to
It was
jam
just-
with your asses.
Yeah.
That is so freaking cool.
It was all
And
organic. I mean,
now
they
it's
just sat
all
down and they played in front of everybody,
Yeah.
and it was awesome.
But that was, we had an appreciation for that. Now they're like, what do you want to do on MTV? I don't know. It's kind of cool to be 12 and pregnant. Let's do shows about that. So MTV is wiped out now. I mean, it's just a weird.
No, it's changed so drastically. But when it first came out in the 80s, in the early 80s, I remember that because it was something new. It was something different. It grabbed everybody's attention.
Oh, yeah.
And it was another way of artists to get their music out there, which I thought was cool.
Here you go.
Oh,
I want you to tell me give me the name of two VJs.
Nina Blackwood.
Yeah.
And, what's the dude's name?
Colin Quinn.
Yes.
You didn't say Downtown Julia Brown. You didn't.
No.
And Colin, did you know Colin Quinn's sister was on there too?
No, I did not know that.
Martha Quinn.
Really?
One of the-
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I
one of the
remember her.
Martha
Yep.
Quinn, one of the early
Yeah.
DJs. Yeah.
Yep. Somebody had mentioned Quiet Riot and
Oh, hell yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. Yes.
Oh hell
I
yeah.
write that daily.
Ricky Rackman.
The Police.
Yeah. The police. There are so many of those bands that I don't know. They taint themselves to me. They start out great, and then all of a sudden they become assholes with their political. I don't want to hear. Sing the music. Don't tell me your political bull. If you want to sing a song about the man, fine. I'll decide if I like it or not. But I don't need you to preach to me. I don't want to hear about. I don't really give a shit. And once they do that, like Sting did, and all that, then I kind of get pulled off. Headbangers
Yeah.
Ball. Yes, Headbangers
Yes.
Ball.
Yes.
And another
That was
one
a
done
really
well,
good
but
one.
it's not from the 80s. It's the Headbangers Ball from now, which would be House of Hair.
Hair. Mm-hmm.
I love that. It's not that's not 80s, but it's all 80s.
Yeah. Well, another person that we didn't touch on that I liked that became popular in the 80s and probably get shit for this one too was Billy Idol.
Well, you can't. Well, see, Billy Idol though. Billy Idol was 70s.
But he didn't get his popularity till the 80s. I mean,
Hey,
yes, he was already out there in the and doing
when did
his thing in the 70s
White?
but
When did White Wedding come out?
80s.
Are you sure? Yeah, you might be. It'd be early. It would be really early. 81.
I think it's the early 80s because I want to say like 82, 81, 82.
Yeah, it would have to be really early.
But that's when he started getting his popularity, I think. Here, I'm just checking this because now I'm not 1982.
Okay, yeah, I knew it had to be really, really
It
freaking
was
early.
because he was on. I know that he was on MTV, and I remember seeing him on MTV for the first time, going, "Who is this dude?" But yes, he did do things in the 70s. There's no doubt about it. He was, in bands singing and doing all kinds of things at that point in time. But yeah,
Although there
I
was
should
an
just ask
amazing,
Ben Wild.
he had a song that had one of the most amazing chicks in it. Oh, I remember I used to, every time I would hear that, I would run down so I could get there in time
Yeah.
to look at it. It was this girl
Yeah.
who shows up, I guess to babysit or whatever, something like that. And it's called Rock the Cradle of Love. And this girl goes in this bedroom and she tears this bed to pieces, but she does this one spot where she like does the splits on the bed, and I was like,
Yeah.
I had to see that every time.
That's when he got in his motorcycle accident and he wasn't able to really move. So when they did the video, they just showed him from like the shoulders up because he really couldn't.
I am really glad they didn't show her from the shoulders up.
Yeah, and that's why they featured her.
Wow. I'll tell you what, my God, that was an awesome video. I was, holy crap.
The other one, too, that I couldn't understand why everybody went so gaga over was White Snake, Here I Go Again, with Chick on the car.
Tawny Katane.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of her name. There was a guy at that time that I didn't know. They were like, oh, my God.
I'll tell you what it was about. This special dress that came out back then called the butt dress that would just hug. Would just hug them. Those girls all wore it. That was that dress. It was like, it just hung right around them butt.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the butt dress. Tawny Katane could wear the butt dress. If you can wear the butt dress, you are definitely a vixen from the video.
Well, I'm just saying that there was not one guy that does not. You mentioned that band, and that's the first thing that they say is they talk about that chick.
Tawny Katane in the butt dress, of course.
Well, I didn't realize it was a butt dress.
Well, it had a few other attributes, but it was a butt dress.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, MTV had some special moments. Yeah, they did well. They did well. Not anymore, but these kids nowadays don't know what they're missing. Go back to the old way. Wow, they all have a great time.
But that was the thing about the music too. Much like the movies, I think that there was something out there for everybody, no matter what kind of music that you liked. There was an artist that was cranking, artist or band that was, cranking it out.
Well, like I said, there was even a country group that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was a group called Alabama. I thought they did amazing. I mean, amazing.
They were very popular back in the 80s.
They did amazing work.
Excuse me.
You don't have to like country, obviously, but for me, I wasn't. I was an old country guy. Conway Twitty, Tanya Tucker, back from the '60s. All right, '50s and '60s stuff. I love that stuff. And then when I heard those guys, I was like, wow, that's a really well done band. They do a really good job. So I enjoyed Alabama. I thought they were pretty cool, but it was the same time I'm listening to AC/DC and listening to everything else. So
Yeah, but that was the thing. It was such a mixed bag. There really and like I said, I think the 80's brought out a lot of and started a lot of different things. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I think from movies to music to cell
Nerdy
phones
ass.
were just coming out.
Yeah, nerdy ass white
Yeah.
boys doing rap. The Beastie Boys.
Yeah, the Beastie Boys.
Molly Hatchet. Molly Hatchet.
Hatchet.
Yes. Yes.
Good when they're gone wild.
Absolutely love, adore Molly Hatchet. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the cell phone. Now, here's a funny one.
I should say coming out, but it was getting popular. It was getting noticed back then.
They had an old one. My grandfather had an original one, and so did all the cops. Cops had it too. Remember, cops had the ability. They could call. My grandfather had one, and what it filled up the entire trunk.
Yeah,
you saw it on some of the old cop movies or detective movies. I keep thinking Steve Bronson or Banyan. What was it? What was that one? It was Banyan or whatever. It was a 70s movie. It was this guy, this fat guy. I think his name was like Banyan or whatever. That was just how they introduced it. They went Banyan, and that was like it. And this fat guy who had it, and he had one where you actually have a phone sitting in the front of your car, a regular dial phone, but everything's in the back. There's a repeater, a radio repeater system in the trunk.
Okay.
Grandfather had one of those. That was before the cell phone.
Yeah.
All right, but these guys still had it in there. They could dial through the repeater. Had to be done back at their office. But I mean, I remember when the first one did come out, it was like a suitcase.
The bag phone.
Yeah. I remember a buddy of mine had it. I'm like, so this is amazing. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, so you can call someone on that. And he's like, yep. I'm like,
and it costs $3 a minute.
and I'm like, so you've been driving around for 10 minutes trying to find a signal. And finally he gets up on top of an overpass and he gets out in traffic. He's like, I got a signal.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there with this bag on the side. I'm like, doesn't really seem all that mobile to me. If I have to drive somewhere to use the phone and make the phone call in traffic, blowing by with all that noise, why don't I just drive home? Why don't I just drive to the payphone? Why don't I just drive to a restaurant and go, "Guys, your phone?" I mean, I don't understand. I didn't understand it at first. It's a little stupid.
Gunwild mentioned the brick. Remember the brick?
Oh yeah. The brick was a modification and an improvement on it if you didn't mind holding a small encyclopedia to the side of your head.
Exactly.
So you literally were holding a brick there, but it was like, wow, this is amazing. You know, I mean, I can take a call. Now for job sites like construction sites, they were fun. But I mean, you'd see people in a store carrying that, and you're like, you're an idiot. You're just a freaking idiot. I mean, why don't you just take your purse and jam it on the side of your head and go, hello, Billy, can you hear me? Billy, can you hear me? I mean, that's all they ever did was, can you hear me? No, can you hear me? You can't hear me? Hang on, let me see if I can get a better signal. You're like, oh my God. Somebody poked this lady in the eye.
But I just think it's funny. You know, when you think about some of the things that we were exposed to that just came out that was new to us back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
You had the cell phones, and now look at them now. They're smartphones. It's like a little computer. They're small. They work great. You know, they've just improved.
The watch.
The
digital watch came out. And we were all enthralled by it. That was the red. Remember? It was the red only light emitting diode, the LED. And we were like, this thing tells the time, it tells the date, and it has seconds. I'll give you $500 for that. And they did.
And now, you know, they've got watches that you can wear that track, you know, like the Fitbits that can track your steps and your heart rate and all that stuff. It's just crazy to think about how these ideas that we had back in the 80s have just taken off, and they've made improvements year after year and come out with, you know, something totally amazing.
Let's talk about some of the ones that it didn't happen to, that went back. I.e. the digital watch. The digital watch was huge. Everyone loved it. They went insane. It was crazy. They sold millions and millions of them. The price came down, then it came down again. Then the late 80s came, and they were like $5 a piece. Everybody wanted one. And now what happens? Nobody wants a freaking digital watch anymore. A Casio G-Shock like this will cost you $30. But you want to get one of the old styles that have a movement with a second hand and all. Those can run you $1,000 or more. Mm-hmm. But you don't really find the digital watch any big deal anymore. And they changed it over to LCD, liquid crystal diode. I mean, that came, it fell, it flopped.
Yes.
And now we're back to the original watches. Everybody wants their hands on the watch. They want to see the dial move the second. They want to see all that now. So your $1,000 watches, your $2,000 watches, those aren't LED watches. They're not LCD watches. Those are the old style. It came, it went, it's back. Same thing for the record. It came, it went.
And now it's making a comeback.
It's back.
The vinyl's coming back. Right. It's just weird to think about that, you know. You think about just the different ways that listen to music, which was 8-track or cassette. And, you know, back in the day, if you remember recording songs off the radio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
And now, as a result, you can go to Spotify or whatever your choice is, or iHeart, and make your own playlists or listen to your own radio stations with your own music. You didn't have that option back in the day. If you wanted a song, you had to put that cassette recorder in there and record.
There was effort because you had to sit there and go. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you were waiting.
You time this just right.
You've got the buttons already pressed, but it's on pause. It's on pause, and your fingers, you're ready. You're ready. Yeah. Come on, Dick Clark, give it to me. Give it to me, brother. Give me this.
Exactly.
And then you push it in and you go. So you had to have effort put into it. You had to work. So when you did it, you did a mixtape back then, you put your time in it. It was your soul.
It was. Those were your tunes.
That's right. You might have 2 weeks worth of weekends in that one tape.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why we had to learn today how to rewind the tape. Because those were important skills to have when you screwed up your tape.
And that's the other thing too. I think there was just so many firsts for us back in the day. You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, the cell phones and the watches that you're talking about, and the VHS.
Yep.
That that first came out.
Remember, there was a fight back then. There were two. There was Beta. The little one, and then there was the VHS.
VHS.
That's right. So you had two. You know. And one of your friends, you couldn't borrow a movie for him because he had stupid Beta. You know, but you had VHS, he couldn't borrow a movie. So you had, that going on right there.
Yep.
and we were all fighting and clinging to our I was still fighting and clinging to my 8-track because I thought it was cool. I remembered it. In radio, it went on for a long time. That 8-track went on for a long, long, long time, well past the death of it. It was still considered in the industry an important one. We had entire carousels full of those 8-tracks. We used them for spots. When you had commercials, they were on those 8-tracks. You pull it out, jam it in there, and go. So it was it was something that I fought to keep mine forever, but eventually the cassette won me, and then it died. No, I did not have a Mr. Microphone, but I did have, and this is no joke either, I did have my own radio station that I built in my room, and it played almost 800 feet. We actually got a visit from some law enforcement because people were getting overdone. Yeah.
Gunwild pointed out the Walkman. We haven't talked about that either since we talked about the
Yes, I had it in the promo though. It was in the promo.
Yep.
Yep.
That, boys and girls, was our version of your MP3 players.
That's right. Yep. You sat around, spent your entire weekend making the tape. Then you could take your tape with you in your little Walkman. Now the Walkman was a big deal because before that, we were carrying around a whole lot. We were carrying around 2 tape players, an entire radio with 2 big, the boombox. The boombox. You had the cool people that threw it on their shoulders, but I just didn't do it for me. I just carried it, But it was how we carried our we were carrying radios around since I was a kid. The little AM radios, and then out came the FM AMs. But at that time, we had the boombox, which was a big deal for us. That was a big freaking deal.
Oh yeah.
Especially if yours had a graphic equalizer on it. Yeah. If you had an EQ on yours, you were bad.
Well, you were just cool if you had one,
Didn't do anything, but still it was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, then
you could take your music with you, and that was awesome.
Right. The Walkman, though, the Walkman changed it all because that was your entire boombox.
Yep.
And it was attached with your headphones. Yeah, but in headphones. So nobody else could hear you. Nobody could hear you.
Yeah.
You could just jam to yourself and be in your own world.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's for sure. That you could do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Douglas, 64D batteries. Exactly.
Yeah.
You had to go to, you remember this? You had to go to Radio Shack and join the battery club so you could get at least 4 or 5 free batteries a month.
Free batteries.
I'm going to go get my card stamped and Radio Shack. What the hell happened to Radio Shack? That was a geek heaven, but it was a great melting pot because people would go in there that weren't geeks. I was a total geek. So but I could build stuff. I could build radios, build ham radio, build all the parts you wanted were there. That was like the 80s was Radio Shack's time. I mean, they were like the hardcore awesome. And then it's like as soon as the cell phone and all that came out, and then some of the more computers, they became like the cell phone story. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
No, I think they're all gone now, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think there is one.
Yeah, I think they're all gone now.
I think they're all gone.
They stopped.
But at that, But we had to be inventive back in the day to make things work and happen. So those were stores that you went to get your stuff. It wasn't ready made like it is today.
The 80s was great for me because a geek. Everybody's busy trading up. They're like 1 minute they're getting rid of their 8-tracks. I'm just getting rid of all that. I'm grabbing it all. I'll fix it. Here, give it to me. I get free 8-track. And then they're getting rid of boom boxes because you're going to go to walk. Well, I'll take your boom box. I was behind the times when I had everything I wanted. I'll just fix it. Yeah, give me your bridge.
Oh, that's for sure. Well, the other thing that I wanted to touch on in the 80s is talk about some of the cars.
Ooh, wow. That was a weird time for cars.
It was a very weird time. And I have to say, that particular time for the cars was very, very weird.
Yeah.
You had the music happening, you had the movies happening, you had all this other stuff happening. And it seemed to me like the cars, for the most part, kind of lagged behind everything else that was like taken off out of the starting gate. You know what I mean?
Well, there was a lot of really dumb shit. You had the fake. You had the fake Ferrari. It was fake. It was the Pontiac Fiero, and you're like looking. You're just like the fuck. Are you fooling me? You think I bought that? Do you think I'm believing any of this? That thing had to push start it. I mean, that thing was the biggest pile of crap there was. I mean, the XL wasn't the Celebrity then too. Didn't the Celebrity come out then? I think the Celebrity came out then. And there was a whole bunch of them that just had the MR2, the Toyota.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, there was just a lot of really stupid stuff.
Well,
but now out of all that came what I think was one of the coolest little trucks, though. A truck that came with seats facing backwards in the bed.
Yeah. The
Subaru Brat, remember that? It had little handlebars. It had seats. You're like, dude, it comes with seats in the freaking bed of the truck. That's a little badass truck right there.
The cars were a mixed bag, and I'm going to give you my list here that I found that people were gravitating towards, because I did look at a couple of different lists when I was doing this.
The Chevy Citation. Thank you all very much.
81 was the DeLorean DMC-12.
Well, yeah, but that'll always be a piece of iconic.
That's going to be iconic. Okay, but this is what I mean by it's just a mixed bag. The Ferrari F40, which is
you just totally went in a different direction there. That was
exactly.
badass.
Then you had 85 was a Chevy Camaro, the IROC Z. Yeah, I didn't know. 84, you had the Corvette. 87, there was the Dodge Daytona Shelby 2. See what I mean? It's just a mixed bag. 89, Ford Taurus SHO.
The SHO was almost badass. Almost.
Almost. 88 Pontiac Fiero GT.
Oh yeah, that's just like that's a bag of dog poop you just picked up.
83 was the Datsun, big poop. 2802X, the turbo.
Yeah, vomit.
82 the Porsche 911 SC. 86 was the Buick Regal Grand National. And see what I mean by it's all over the freaking map.
The Chevy Cavalier was then too. Then you had the Chevy Citation, which you're like, okay, everybody hold on. Crap. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the Reliant K-Bar.
Right. And don't forget the Trans Ams, as Gunwell pointed out. Because, you know, that was another popular car back then, too. And that's the thing. I mean, when you look at the 80s for cars, there's not one besides the DeLorean that comes to mind that you just go, oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
Your Firebird was kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like the Trans Am, you know, to me.
Yeah, they were kind of one and the same.
I wasn't enthralled. Now, you had like the Testarossa, and you had the Countach. You had stuff like that. Wow, I'll never get that, so it doesn't count in my world. What can I afford? A Citation.
And that was the thing. It was all over the map, I think, for cars. So
I remember I seem to recall there was a lot of Peugeots back then.
A lot of what?
Peugeots. Yeah. It's a weird car. They had a few wins and they've had some losses. But it was a weird time.
For the cars, yeah.
Yeah, it was
very
just,
much.
I mean, Cadillac was all over the board.
All over the board.
The Lincoln Continental was all over the place. That's when the Lincoln had they were all trying to figure out how to make the trunks look cool. Do I want to stick a wheel on the outside?
Oh, yeah.
And
then, wasn't there one that had like a little bump in the trunk, too?
Well, they stuck the wheel on the back of the car. On the back of the car. That was the Cougar.
The Cadillac.
The Cougar. No, the Cougar. That was the Cougar. It was the Cougar.
Oh, I just remember it was part of the trunk. It looked like part of the trunk or the back end of the car.
Yeah, it was the Cougar.
Where it looked like the trunk, and it kind of went, it came straight out, and then it went down, and it sloped down, but then there was like an extra bump on it.
That was the Cougar.
Was it the Cougar?
I'm looking what year it was right now.
So while you're doing that, some of the other people in the chat room, somebody pointed out 1911 Ford Fiesta. Ed said Astro, LOL, laugh out loud on that one. Lincoln. But see what I mean? You're all over somebody put, 1911 84 Caravan. Gunwild said Winnebago.
See, and literally, that's what I mean. The minute we say the 70s or the 60s, everybody runs. Everybody, that GTO. We're right there. We're right there.
Oh yeah,
right.
But
it's like the 80s. 80s, you're like,
there's nothing. No,
I'm not really sure.
You can find cars. You can find cars in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. All of your muscle cars. And people can be rattling off this and that and thinking that these were the greatest things since the invention of peanut butter.
I mean, remember
you get to the 80s and it's like
Mustang 2.
Don't even put Mustang on it.
It's like, okay, vomit. Really, and nobody had their shit together for some reason in the 80s in the car. They'll be there you go, Jolson, the rabbit. There you go. That's the epitome. That's it. There you are. That's it.
I rode one of those.
Yeah, it's like the 80s was like All it was a bunch of car manufacturers walking around going, what the fuck do you, I don't know what the hell do I don't know, man. What was that? That was a rabbit. Just went by. Let's make a car after that.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's what I'm saying. There wasn't anything that I don't think, this is just my opinion, so don't send the hate mail. I don't think that there was anything great car-wise that came out of the 80s that you're just going to go, oh, if I had the money to buy one of those today, I would get a blah, blah, blah. I
agree. I agree 100% because, I mean, there's no, I never hear anybody going, you know what I want? Do you know what I want? I want an 84 Citation. That's what I never hear anybody doing that. They're like, you know, I want a 70 Satellite. I want a 69 Chevelle. I want this or that. No one ever goes, I want a 1986 Reliant K car. Even the dumb cars before them were funny. Remember the thing? Remember the thing?
The thing?
Yeah, the Volkswagen thing.
No, I don't remember that one.
In the 70s, there was a car called the Volkswagen thing. They built this car. It was an okay car, but it looked so stupid, so absolutely freaking ridiculous. Nobody could figure out what the hell to call it, so they just called it the thing.
Yeah.
And it came. You either had a hardtop thing or a convertible thing.
Okay, I guess I take that back because Jolson pointed out Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah, but that's a different world. That's a different world.
I mean, that's a different world.
Right.
But
we're talking about the accessible cars to all people.
Yeah, to everybody.
The Chevelle was accessible to everybody. You know, the Javelin was accessible to everybody. The GTO was accessible to everybody. The Mustang, those were all accessible to everybody. If you wanted to buy a car, this is what you bought a car from. Not everybody could afford a Lamborghini. But I'll tell you, everybody could afford a Chevy Citation.
It's just too funny.
I can't believe you don't remember the four-door. I can't believe you don't remember the four-door thing. You got to look that up, girl.
I'm gonna have to look that up and look at the image because now.
When I was in Missouri, when I first saw that, and I remember when I was in Branson before it was Branson. There was none of that was even there.
Who made that?
Volkswagen. I believe Volkswagen made the thing. But I mean, back then that was a funny car you saw running around Branson, Missouri, along with these World War II ducks. They had a whole bunch of these ducks. They're cars.
I just got a picture of it.
You just saw
it? Yes.
Yes.
Now I remember. Oh my God, they were but ugly.
Yes, and they looked a lot like the World War II surplus.
Oh God!
Remember the ducks?
Like...
The ducks you would drive in the water and you drove back out. They had tours. It looked a lot like a mini version of it.
It looks like the leftover parts of the duck, and they just slapped it all together and called it a car.
No, they didn't even call it a car. They called it a thing.
Okay, they called it a thing.
Oh, Jolson just did the Mazda RX-7. That was the affordable car that if you were kind of cool or really were trying to be cool or wanted people to think you were cool, you got the RX-7.
Yeah, I think I have that on my list. Didn't I? Oh, excuse me.
All I remember is I think it was if I remember it was a 2-seater. You couldn't get anybody in there.
No, it was very, very small.
It was like the Fiero,
The Ferrari.
The Fiero. It had a look, kinda, maybe, I think, but it was crap. They're like, here's some crap. Can we put like some stickers on it, make it look cool? Let's put like a hood ornament on it. Wow, let's give it a cool name. We're gonna call it what? The RX-7. What does that mean? You need 7 prescriptions to drive.
That's what it sounded like too. It really did.
Well, Eric wants us to know he farted. So there you are, Eric. The fart heard around the world.
Great. Yes. So we covered a lot of different topics for the 80s. We've covered the music, the movies, the cars. The one thing that we're going to talk about for a few minutes, and I know you don't want to talk about this, but I got to bring it up, is the fashion, the hair, and the makeup. What the hell were we thinking?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
I just gotta
for
say
guys,
it.
I know, but for guys, we were winning because before that we had the big collars, the polyester stuff. We had all the damn leftover bell bottoms and all that stuff happening, and then came denim jeans and t-shirts, tore up jeans. But we were badass. You chicks were lost. You were lost.
Please.
The girls were lost. Oh, you girls were like, I want to be Madonna. I need to get. You guys were cutting off the little things on your socks and wearing them around your wrists on your hands. You were wearing lace glove. It was a very confusing time. So we were all of us guys just stood there and went, "The fuck? What the hell are they doing?"
Oh yeah, right. Give me a break.
Either it's a little
Let's
bow
talk about
or a
some
giant
of the guys.
bow. Or,
let's just talk about the guys for a minute with their fashion. Okay, you may have had the Converse, and you may have had the ripped jeans and the t-shirts and the leather jackets.
Done.
But
Done.
There were guys in bands that decided that makeup was a good thing.
Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna go with you on, for some reason, a bunch of dudes thought dressing up like chicks was gonna bring them chicks.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Hey, honey, you want to share my lipstick?
Now Gunwell's disputing me with the parachute pants. Those were the weirdos. Those were the crazy ones. Those are the ones that were running around. Hey, look at me. I'm Depeche. They were just. Those were the weirdos to me. All I ever saw in the 80s was jeans.
There were the parachute pants.
What?
The members only jackets.
What?
Yes, I do remember that.
See, now that wasn't around. Now I live in Maine, so that wasn't around me. Okay. Now I was in California too, and I didn't see that, but I was on a military installation, so of course parachute pants were not something we did.
I'm just saying that it was, but I never understood it. No, here's the funny thing that I gotta put out there. The guys that, did the makeup to look like the chicks to get the chicks. Okay.
How did that work?
That was a thing.
How was that supposed? But how was that so? Whoever got the idea? I'm trying to pick up chicks. All right, I'm in a rock band. Okay, what do you want to do? I don't know. Put on makeup. Chicks will dig it, won't they? I never understood that. That part I never got.
I don't know who started this, and maybe Gunwild knows the answer to it. Gunwild, if you know the answer, put it in the chat room. Who did start that whole guys, with the chick makeup? I know it was a rock band that started it. I just don't know which one.
I mean, there's a whole. I don't know who started it, but I mean, a lot of them. Poison was doing it. Your boys were doing it for a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bon Jovi.
But I mean, to me,
Poison.
who started it will always be Kiss. But they didn't do it like. But they didn't do it like. They didn't do it like chick.
Right. I'm talking the chick makeup. I'm not talking the makeup. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm talking specifically the chick makeup.
The first metal band, rock band that was doing makeup was Kiss. But dressing like girls and having your mascara done and your what is that stuff they put on their cheeks? What's it called? Whatever the
Blush.
hell. I mean, seriously. Who thought that was a great idea?
Oh my God, this is too funny. Oh, if you could just see the look on John's face right now, guys. it's like, are you freaking kidding me? What? Are you freaking kidding me?
I thought Poison had some great music. I never understood why they dressed like girls. I never understood that.
Thank you, Gunwild One. It was the New York Dolls that started it. I knew somebody had started it, and everybody kind of got on that bandwagon. But here's the funny thing, okay?
Oh, there's that
was
name.
Like 30...
There's that name right there. I knew someone was going to bring that up.
Boy George.
I knew someone was going to bring that up.
And you know what? It's 30-some plus years later, and he's still wearing makeup.
Freak. That guy.
I'm just saying.
He's a freak.
I'm just saying. But that, to me, I mean, you got guys running around doing the whole girls makeup thing again, thinking that it's cool. And I just want to point out, been there, done that. We did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
the
please,
funny thing I'm
let's
noticing
not do
now
it
is
again.
the funny thing I'm noticing now is every once in a while one of the kids come around or they got one of their friends with them and they're like, "Did you hear this song?" And you listen to the song, so you start singing the lyrics to the song. And they're like, "Oh, so you know this one?
Oh,
I've known
sing
this
this
one."
one.
You go, "I've known that one for years, years.
Yeah.
It just came out."
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It came out when I was like 12. Like what? Yeah, it came out when I
Yeah.
was like 12. And they're like, did too. And you start telling the lyrics. And you're like, how do I know it? Look it up on your phone. Wrong. That's not your rapper guy. That's somebody else.
Else. I know.
There's so many people redoing songs now. It's like they're out of material.
Yeah, they're out of material. It has to be. But yeah, I just had to bring that up. With that and the big hair. Okay, the things that girls did to get attention from guys.
Hold on. Done correctly, there's nothing better than getting lost in big hair. When done correctly. Not like Joey's mom. Not like Joey's mom.
And do tell us, pray tell, what is the correct way?
Well, when you don't want none of that bouffant stuff. The giant thing, the Marge Simpson thing. No. You want it wide. You want it just like all that hair you can run your hands.
Like a lion's mane,
there
wide.
There you go. But it's got to be long. It's got to be long.
Well, yeah, there was that, but you had to have some. You had to have some on top too.
Well, yeah. All guys want their girls to have some on top. Sorry.
I can't even say their head because
nobody
you
can get upset
in another direction.
Nobody can get upset with me because I used all those words in a sentence.
Teasing, ratting, whatever you called it.
Yeah, they want to have a little bit of a poof on top of the head, and you want that that all around their face, and you want that long hair done correctly. Big hair, really, 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 really badass. Done incorrectly, you're just praying there's no wind.
See, I always had to ask about that because it's like, yeah, we'd sit there in front of the mirror for hours teasing and ratting your hair and spraying it, and I can't tell you how many cans of Aquanet girls went through.
Oh, yeah. Gunwald just said Aquanet made millions in the 80s. Yeah.
I agree with them. Yes, they did. Absolutely. They absolutely did. Excuse me.
Don't forget, the girls had all that stuff, and got those weird dudes were doing the makeup. But then came the perfume craze, the guys' perfume craze. I think we went insane. I don't think we could figure out what we wanted to wear back then. There was everything. There were so many colognes. I remember being lost in cologne back then, going,
really?
Everything is weird. Well, you're still coming off the high karate Avon phases. You got Brute this, Brute that. You got Old Spice.
I forgot about Brute.
Oh yeah. But then you've got like the Pucker Rabanne, the birth of Pucker Rabanne. You got all these different. I mean, we had so many crazy weird ass colognes back then. It was just weird. It was strange. It was like, is it coming in a bottle? I mean, I don't know. I think we just doused ourselves with whatever. I know for a while in the 80s, wow, I would have been afraid to walk past me. I'd have been like, what the hell is that? Because I was one of those. I was one of those matter of fact, no give a shit guys. So it was like the end. If it was the end of allspice, I didn't have enough. I'd throw it on, then open another bottle of something else. So we're like, what is that? That's a Pucker Rabanne allspice high karate blend. It's a blend.
So between that and the hairspray, we should have had signs that said the no smoking light is now on.
Yeah. By the time that you ask a girl, you got a light, she'd be like, "Are you crazy? Look at my hair. Of course I don't have a light. Yeah. I'm afraid to go near a light. Are you kidding me?"
Oh yeah.
Who was it in the 80s that had that happen? Oh, Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he
Pepsi commercial?
Yeah, he lit his hair on fire. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some. I think we had some insane commercials back in the 80s. We had some
Oh
pretty
yes,
wild out there commercials. We were
yes, we
just
did.
we were just stepping off of the you can't do anything on television. Just coming off of that, I call it the I
Yeah.
Love Lucy time, where it's like you no can be in the same bed. No, separate bed.
Yeah.
You couldn't even show
Yeah.
them in the bed. Couldn't even be in
Nope.
the same bed. You're like, but they got little Ricky. They must have hopped in there at least once. They're like, you can think about it, but we cannot show that. No.
Yeah.
We came
Can't
from
go
that. We came from that
Yeah.
to like going way too far in the other direction,
Yeah.
and then having to bring it back, and then we went too far in
Mhm.
the other direction with trying to tame everybody. I mean, that's when the
Yeah.
whole censorship, crazy insanity went on with music and
yeah.
all that stuff. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everybody.
The parental advisories. Remember
Yep.
how many times you saw those on the
Yep.
CDs and albums? Yeah.
Yeah, and we still have
Oh,
that now. The whole
Mhm.
movie rating system, R,
Yeah.
PG, PG. All,
Mhm.
we used to have naughty movies. You have to be older to watch that.
Yeah.
All right. Now those were movies that you just had to be older to watch. It was all. But we
Mhm.
didn't have it, on everything. Now it's on everything. That came from the
Yeah.
80s. That came from the
It
80s.
did. Yeah. And that's another thing that stuck with it longevity wise.
Which is stupid. I mean, good Lord Almighty. They'll put a
Yeah.
warning label on a movie. This should not be shown to anybody under 13. You're like, have you ever got on the computer before? Have you ever got on the internet?
Yeah.
Do you think that a kid can write, I want to see what a girl looks like now? Do you think it's available to him? Yes, it is available to him immediately. The warning
Yep.
label does no good. That's one of those
Yeah.
stupid things they ought to just get rid of.
Mhm.
What kids actually go, dear father, I know I am but the age of 12, but wish to see a PG-13 movie. Could you please allow me by taking me? No, crap, no, that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. No.
No, they don't even ask anything. They don't even ask a question.
No.
The only thing they'll say is, hey, I took some money out of your wallet, gotta go, bye.
Yeah. That's about it too.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, kids are a lot different now than they were in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I think that the struggles as a teenager are somewhat the same, but somewhat different, compared to then versus now.
Well, I mean, we had bullies back then. We have bullies now.
Yes.
Back
we have both
then,
now.
but back then you took your smack.
Yeah.
You took your smack, or you learned how to hit back.
Yes.
Okay, which back
You
then,
learn to stick up for yourself.
right back then,
You found your voice.
Your big brother or a friend or your dad showed you how to. Oh, don't just start trouble. You don't just start it. But if
Mhm.
they're gonna give you trouble, you got to be able to defend
Yeah.
yourself. But nowadays,
Yeah.
it's like that's wrong to teach that to your kids.
Yeah, you can't do that. Don't touch anybody, because if you do, that's considered assault.
Right. I mean, everything's wrong. I mean, it's
Yeah.
wow. Could you imagine back then?
It's different.
Wow. We actually were running
Oh, God.
around with cap guns,
Yeah.
hiding. There was nothing uncommon in seeing some kids running around with a bunch of guns in their hands. Run right past
Yeah.
you. You pull in,
Right.
go visit your friend, they run right past you.
Yep.
Nowadays, if that happened, you'd have everybody on the floor with their phones out dialing 911. There are some 7-year-olds that are shooting up the place.
Yeah, and video it, using
Oh, yeah.
their
Oh, yeah.
camera on their phone to video it. Yeah.
I'm putting this on Facebook, you kids.
So yeah, there's lots of things that I think being a teenager, there's similarities and there's differences, and yes, the times have changed, but I don't think it was that bad in the time that we grew up, and
Oh,
I
hell
think every person says it about their own era, their own time that they grew up in, and there's really nothing wrong with that. And that's gonna, John, I know you're not gonna really be happy to hear this, but this is one thing that I wanted. Are you still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. This is one thing that I wanted to leave everybody with, because thinking along that line about how things were so just a different time, a different way that we looked at things, and then some of the similarities that I think that we still see today with the things that people kind of struggle with and whatnot. Leave it with this. It's from the Breakfast Club, and don't kill me. But I thought this was good. It says, Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice the whole Saturday in detention for whatever it is we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely, the Breakfast Club.
Oh, there you go.
And I thought that was a good way to sum it up, because no matter what the excuse me, what the year is, that you're in school, that you're a teenager, you always have to deal with different kinds of people, cliques, labels, and things like that. And I think that's one thing that has not changed throughout the years and generations.
No, it never will either.
No,
it'll always be. There's always. I mean, clique. A lot of people say I'm not part of clique. I'm not part of this or that. But no matter what it is, as soon as you find one person that you can literally hang out with, you're there. This is a cool person, someone I can hang out with. There's your clique.
Eric. So yeah, and that's that's the way
don't worry, none of us heard you yelling for Eric.
I'm sorry.
I know she does that. She's like, shh, Eric.
Be very, very quiet.
Eric.
Where's my cat? I lost something here on the screen, and I don't know how to drive the bus. There we go.
What'd you lose?
Sorry, I lost your screen.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm like, I don't want to touch nothing because I don't. Yeah.
That's why you asked me if I was still there. Are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I'm still here. Do you want to tell me something that I don't know about here? I mean, have I been sucked into a vortex or what?
Nope. It's just Chris not being able to drive the bus. Too many buttons. I get confused.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, I mean, this is definitely a topic that you can do another show on for sure, because there's so much more. So much more. I mean, the rock of the 80s. I mean,
yes.
The rock and roll of the 80s, it would be an immense, incredible topic. Mistakes of the 80s. Holy crap, you can just go on and on there.
Gosh. Yeah. It was a lot of live and learn, I think, process, especially during that time. I also lost the chat room. I don't know where that is either. But anyways, you can go really on and on about it. There was just like so many different things that was going on, that was happening, that was good, that was bad, things that were changing, things that were, that have grown and evolved into so much more. And we touched on some of them, like the cell phones was one example.
Wasn't the last eradication? Wasn't the last eradication? I might be wrong. I believe the last eradication we had was in the 80s, where there was a disease or something that is no more. I think it was smallpox. They declared eradicated in the 80s.
Oh, really? Okay.
I believe, yeah. I think I'm right. The last time we had something like that, we've had new diseases, AIDS and so I got other things that have popped up. But I mean, actually being what they considered eradicated. I believe smallpox was the last thing eradicated. I believe that was in 1980, if I remember.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. I think because there was so much going on and there were so many changes and so much was happening in the 80s that you could really go on and on forever. But we don't want to do that and make our listeners be bored to tears.
Yeah, there were two assassination attempts and failures in the 80s. Ronald Reagan had an assassination attempt, and also Pope John Paul II.
Mm-hmm.
He was shot. Right. Remember, they were both shot.
Yeah.
They both had assassination attempts. They were both shot, but they were not. They were not killed.
Yep. So there was a lot going on at that point in time. So yeah, you could really go on and on about it, but we probably shouldn't go on and on about it because I don't even know if anybody will be listening this long. I think this is one of the longest shows that we've done, but there was just so much to talk about,
Yeah,
and you couldn't really just say we're gonna wrap this up in 1 hour. It's not possible. And you're right. You can veer off into different subjects in regards to the 80s.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't forget John Lennon was assassinated in the 80s too.
Yep. Yeah, in 1980 he was assassinated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot that happened. A lot that happened. In the political arena, and all kinds of things were happening. There was a lot of changes, but that's one thing that I can say about people that made it through the 80s. I think that we're pretty good at dealing with change because there was so much going on at that time.
And one thing you didn't mention was the complete independence of...
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz.
Canada. 1982. Canada gained complete independence in 1982.
That's right.
And you're from?
I'm sorry to the fellow Canadians and my family if you're listening. Thanks, John. I'm going to hear about that one for days on end.
Sorry, just saying.
So, I think that's about it. Any final thoughts on the 80s?
No, there's
Comments?
so many things you can just say, and I'll just be opening up a whole other rabbit hole and climbing down there. Yeah, I mean, there was, big things. I mean, there's so many political things. I mean, you remember the Philippines, Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos left the Philippines, but then they came to the United States and lived in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, there's a lot. We had the
Olympics.
We had all kinds of crazy crap going on then. We had 83 when Vanessa Williams won. She was the first black lady to win the Miss America pageant and had it taken away from her.
Yes.
Right.
Forgot about that.
Right afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that Ed and 1911 USA say it best. The 80s was fun. The 80s was an interesting decade.
Yeah.
I think that it does. I think it sums it up very nicely. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's it. Otherwise,
all right.
We're going to be talking forever. So, I just want to say thanks, everybody, that came to listen live tonight. Thanks, everybody in the chat room. It was awesome to see the conversation going on, and everybody kind of stuck to the whole conversation in regards to the 80s.
It was fantastic.
I think that's fabulous that we were able to do that. I want to say thanks to everybody that will be listening out there on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes.
Little Miss Worldwide here.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hello to all my people. I'm giving you my Princess Diana wave, also from the 80s.
Yeah. No.
Okay. And on that note,
I don't want to get big-headed.
Okay, I guess I'm going to push this button now.
Okay, everybody have a good night, a good week ahead of them, and we will be back next week with another topic. Thank you very much.
Roll that outro.
Cheers, Lars.